updates as the story will only be developing further with the fight for Shiv Sena's symbol and the identity that has now been taken to the topmost court of the country. Now, Team Uddhav Thackera's plea against the poll panel's decision to grant the bow and the arrow symbol to the Shinde faction will be now mentioned today. And in the allegations that are also being leveled now, we have seen the counter allegations as far as how now the Uddhav faction of the Shiv Sena has been demanding कि पूरा जो इलेक्शन कमीशन है उसे डिसबैंड कर दिया जाए, उसे ही खत्म कर दिया जाए, और ये मांग अब रखी गई है सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने. So the details that are coming in as we are looking at the main contentions that have now been raised by the Uddhav faction against the election commission verdict, जहां पर ये आमने सामने हो गए हैं उद्धव फैक्शन और इलेक्शन कमीशन, और ये सीधा लड़ाई अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जा पहुंची है. बताया जा रहा है कि पार्टी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अनडेमोक्रेटिक नहीं, नॉट सैंक्रोसैंक्ट है, और जहां तक ऑब्जेक्शन है यहां पर ईसी की तरफ से बताया जा रहा है कि उसने न्यूट्रल वे में एक्ट नहीं किया. ईसी एक ऑटोनमस बॉडी है और उसको बिना किसी पक्ष के साथ अपना जो डिसीजन है वो डिलीवर करना चाहिए था, और यही आरोप अब उद्धव फैक्शन लगा रहा है इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया के अगेंस्ट. बताया जा रहा है इनफैक्ट व्हेन इट कम्स टू द ऑर्डर इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन सेइंग द डेमोक्रेसी इन द पार्टी इज लाइक दैट इन fiefdom, the objection that has now been raised by the Uddhav faction that they did not get a chance to rebut the EC's claim. उद्धव फैक्शन का ये कहना है कि उनको मौका ही नहीं मिला कि अपना जो रिप्लाई है उनको सामने रखा जाए, और सीधे तौर पे इलेक्शन कमीशन की तरफ से यह फैसला आ गया कि जो बो एंड एरो सिंबल है, जो शिवसेना की जो पहचान, जो आइडेंटिटी है, वो शिंदे फैक्शन को दे दी जाए. अब सीधे तौर पे ये जो लड़ाई है वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट जा पहुंची है. लेट्स सी दैट हाउ इट प्लेज आउट इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट. मीनवाइल, लेट्स गेट यू मोर अपडेट्स दैट आर कमिंग इन ऑन द एक्सपेक्टेशंस नाउ ऑफ द उद्धव फैक्शन.
He doesn't need to channel the image of a legacy which he has carried forward as part of Shiv Sena president. Legacy that was handed over to him by Balasaheb Thackeray, a legacy that is being challenged right now and is being trying to be usurped right now by someone who was perhaps Mr. Uddhav Thackeray's most trusted ally, and is now the trusted ally has been used by the Bharatiya Janata Party to backstab the party president. So he was only addressing a huge number of party workers who had come to see him, who were disturbed by the fact that ECI has done what it has done, unexpected of election commission to act like entirely compromised institution. And he was addressing to the people of the party that he will fight this out and we are willing to fight this battle head on. So whether it is, if it is being, compared to Balasaheb Thackeray ji, it is part of, the legacy that he carries forward as a Thackeray.
When it comes to the EC's ruling, here is what the EC is supposed to depend on. And I'm reading this out. Primarily, they have to ascertain whether a claimant within a political party is enjoying the majority support. You have to examine the party's constitution and list of office bearers submitted when the party was together. So essentially, they have to see for the legislative wing how many MPs and MLAs are in each of the rival camps. And purely in that regard, the ECI has found that Mr. Shinde enjoys a majority when it comes to MPs and MLAs.
So I'll tell you two things here. They have referred to the Sadiq Ali case. And like I said, in 2003, there was the 10 schedules knocked off the 1/3 requirement and made split of a party as unlawful activity. It was not part of the constitution. So they've given that as one reason. Now, second, a political party is more beyond its legislative party. And we must understand these legislative members are elected on the leadership of Shri Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray under the party symbol, under the political party name. To hand over a political party on the basis of legislative strength, two problems. One, overwhelming majority of organizational support is with Shri Uddhav Thackeray. Right from 20 lakh primary membership forms to 3 lakh office bearers affidavits to 160 national executive members to over 18 Rajya Pramukhs in support of Shri Uddhav Thackeray. On the other hand, 0 national executive office bearers in support of Shri Eknath Shinde. Out of 8 Rajya Pramukhs, 11 are with him. Out of the primary membership, he's filled in about 3.5 lakh. And out of office bearers, there are 0. Organization plus legislative strength is what's a political party. And now the second part of the problem, legislative strength that they're talking about. legislative strength is sub judice simply because the Supreme Court's 5-judge bench is still hearing the case of the disqualification of 16 MLAs. So that also falls flat when Election Commission chooses to hand over only on the basis of legislative strength. Third problem, they quote the Sadiq Ali case. The Sadiq Ali case was taken at a time and before 2003 when a split was not an unlawful thing, was recognized by the Constitution. But after 2003, there is nothing like a party split being acknowledged in the Constitution. If 2/3 of the people in the legislative party have lost faith in their leadership, they will merge into another political party or they will form their own political party, and contest an election and win the mandate of the people. Again, which has not been adhered to. So to bypass everything, suddenly hammering down this entire decision, I think is bad in law and will be challenged in the Supreme Court.
All right, so you heard the version of the Uddhav Thackeray faction as how they want the fight to play out in the Supreme Court. We have Sabyasachi joining us live right now. Sabyasachi, good morning. You are standing right in front of the Supreme Court और यही है जो आज जो लड़ाई है शिवसेना को लेकर वो अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाने वाली है. बताया जा रहा है उद्धव फैक्शन की तरफ से बोल रहे हैं कि उनके साथ बिट्रेल हुआ है और ये अनफेयर है जिस तरह की कार्रवाई इलेक्शन कमीशन की तरफ से जो फैसला आया था.
जी बिल्कुल, देखिए कहीं ना कहीं उद्धव ठाकरे का जो फैक्शन है वो लगातार ये कह रहा है कि उनके साथ धोखा हुआ है. हालांकि उद्धव ठाकरे का कल ये बयान आया है कि मैं चोर नहीं हूं. हालांकि वो पार्टी सिंबल चुरा सकते हैं, पार्टी नाम चुरा सकते हैं, बट जो ठाकरे सरनेम है वो कहीं ना कहीं ये चोरी नहीं कर सकते. मीनवाइल द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, द चीफ जस्टिस हैज क्लियरली स्टेटेड द लॉयर्स ऑफ उद्धव ठाकरे led Shiv Sena have told them to list to mention the matter as soon as possible for an urgent hearing in the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the Uddhav Thackeray faction have also questioned the ECI over allotting the party symbol and name to the CM Eknath Shinde camp. They have said that lot of the facts have been avoided by the ECI before delivering this order. The Uddhav Thackeray camp has also pointed out that clearly a lot of party workers are in support of the Uddhav camp. Meanwhile, the ECI has said that they have given this order looking at every single aspect and this order is completely based in neutrality. They have said that they have particularly looked at the aspect of the majority that is being enjoyed by the... Let me get in a legal point of view with Harish also with us right now. Harish, good morning. How do we see this out playing out in the Supreme Court today? Would it also impact as far as the previous cases regarding the name and what really happened and played out in June last year? Would it also have any bearing on the current case that has now been filed? Harish? We're just getting that line of Harish reconnected. But at this point, this is the fight for the symbol and survival of the Uddhav Thackeray faction, as they have been calling the decision that has been taken by the Election Commission as unfair and as a betrayal. Now, this came when the verdict of the Election Commission, which Uddhav Thackeray faction has been calling it unacceptable and demanded that the poll panel must be demanded. Now, this is also coming in at the time when he had termed the EC ruling as incorrect and has said that his party will challenge it in the Supreme Court while apprehending a dictatorship in the country from the year 2024. So Harish, if you can hear me, would it have any bearing on the case already that is being heard in the Supreme Court regarding the split in the Shiv Sena that happened last year?
Yes, that's right, Amita. You are very correct. Even the matter pending, the Sena versus Sena batch of petitions pending before the Constitution bench is also listed today. So, in fact, Abhishek Mani Singhvi will be mentioning Uddhav Thackeray's petition appeal against the Election Commission of India's verdict. That petition also be taken up along with the pending petitions before Constitutional bench, saying that these the matters dealt with by Election Commission also interlinked with the issues pending before the Constitution bench, crucial issues relating to disqualification, merger and defection, and also violation of Constitution by the several authorities like Speaker and Governor. So today, in fact, as we had been reporting, the Uddhav camp has sought stay of the Election Commission order which has gone in favor of Shinde camp, and status quo be maintained and no precipitative coercive leave action be taken till appeal is pending in Supreme Court, and has already said that it is linked with issues pending before the Constitution bench in Supreme Court. So keep the Election Commission of the decision in abeyance till Constitution bench verdict. And what is the Uddhav camp contending? They contend that Election Commission acted in a biased manner and gave unfair treatment to Uddhav camp. Election Commission erred in holding that there is a split. Election Commission erred in relying upon strength of the legislators who are under.
So we'll see what would be put forth on part of the Election Commission, also defending their decision that they have taken, as they have been saying that the MLAs backing the Shinde faction got nearly 76% of the vote.